So my name is Tiffany, and I really haven't wanted to do this video because I'm just not really down for putting my face out there, but I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions and things that have happened along the way in my awakening, and I want to clear things up. For people that don't know me, I lost my husband a little over 4 years ago, and this is him. This is Jimmy. When Jimmy and I met, we were both still very, very broken, and we both used, and if I cry, I'm sorry, but this experience has been really difficult, so I've been really urged to do this video, even though it's fucking taken everything in me to do it. And I brought my Bible, so I want to ask my guides and Jimmy and the angels that have protected me through this entire thing to please watch over me in this video. And to help me get it to the right people, because there's a lot of people in the world that are suffering, including myself still, obviously. And let me back up. When Jimmy and I got together, we were both trying to stay clean. I had just gone through an experience where I got myself locked up. I had worked really hard to work my way up in the professional world, and I was doing really well, but I was still using the whole time, which eventually landed me in a lot of trouble. And I know my reasons for doing that were because of shit that happened to me when I was a child. And I stayed in a hurtful place, in a painful, traumatic state of consciousness, and I kept reliving that shit over and over and over again. Which clear into my 40s, I'm still learning how to not live that anymore. Jimmy and I were incredibly connected on a soul level for some reason. I mean, we must have had many lives together, I'm guessing. But we both went through times where we were just, to me now I understand it as being tested by the devil. Like, Jimmy had a lot of demons. I had a lot of issues that I needed to work through. Jimmy's demons, I believe, went deeper. He was dealing with energetic attachments and things, but the worst of that happened after Jimmy had an accident. He had a head injury accident. And at that time, he was using steroids, gym steroids, which was getting progressively worse. I'm sorry. Jimmy, after his accident, started displaying a lot of signs of, he just seemed crazy to me. Right after his accident, I expected him to be very confused and things, and I did, I was still dealing with my own issues and trying to take care of him, and Jimmy had asked me to marry him 3 times before this year, and I had always refused because, I don't know, something deep in me told me that he wasn't going to be around very long, and he died at 43. My exact words to him were, jokingly, my luck, you'd be gone 3 months later because I knew he was on steroids and it just didn't look good. But for some reason after his accident, I felt so heavily, like, I say guided because I don't know what else to say. Like, it was an overwhelming feeling of like it was something that I had to do, and so I did it. We decided, and 3 days later we were married on October 11th, 2016. Jimmy passed away 3 months and, like, I don't know, 13 days or 18 days or something after that. Which isn't something I wished on him at all, which was shock to me because we had just gotten married. After we got married, it wasn't long after we got married, about a week or two, Jimmy started having really bizarre, like, psychotic episodes, and he didn't remember doing really crazy shit in our house. Like, I'd wake up to everything being moved and a mess, and he wouldn't know what happened. He had a lot of secrets when he died. I didn't realize over that year that Jimmy had karmic entanglements, is my best description, as well as myself. Like, I wasn't perfect. I did fucked up shit myself, and I know that. I was always loyal to Jimmy. We were loyal to each other, even though our hearts were loyal to each other. Our humans were doing different things. After our marriage, and things just kept getting worse and getting worse, and you know, Jimmy kept getting sick. He was taken by ambulance several times to Miami because he probably shouldn't have lived through that accident, and I'm pretty sure that was God working in his life, because I found a letter after he died where when he was sober, he wrote this, claiming our wedding day, and I had no idea. So whatever or whoever is up there made sure that Jimmy and I were married before he died 3 months and some days later. The night Jimmy died, we weren't together really that day. I went to work and I put my phone out because Jimmy had been drinking, I don't know if the day before, but I knew I had caught him in a lie, and I called him on it, told him I already knew the answer, but he still chose to lie to me, and I was prepared to go home that day and leave our 3-month marriage because I was just over it. I had caught him in a lot of lies, and I was just over it. Not any part of me hated Jimmy. That he was my best friend. He still is my best friend. After Jimmy died, I was in our apartment by myself at first. And I didn't know at the time, but Jimmy hadn't crossed over properly. I understand it now, but I didn't then. And he was trapped in a really low state of consciousness because he didn't cross over. He wasn't able to clear any low emotions that we carry here as humans, like hate and anger and jealousy and things. And he didn't really understand that he was dead, which was confirmed by a medium like a year and a half later, which is going to be going in my book someday when I finish it. But at first, I didn't have any experience as a medium or as a psychic or an intuitive, any of this. I didn't know anything about any of this. And when Jimmy was in Trapped, I call it, he caused me to have a lot of really crazy, horrible experiences. Not just him, but there was a lot of energies around him because he was in the wrong place. And I'm sure sometimes he saw me moving on with my life and was angry, so he did some shit that caused me a whole lot of mess in my life, which I'm still coming out of, and I know I'll make it out of, but I didn't understand all of this until I had an incredible urge to go to California, and that's where I grew up. That is where my pain started. And I didn't really know where I belonged, I was going through a lot. I was experiencing paranormal stuff. I had spirit pictures. I had entities attacking me at night. I had so much shit that I was dealing with that the average human can't even fathom, that I had to do this video to try. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't believe me. And I really, really don't care, because I know what I lived through. I know what I experienced. I know what I lived through. I know what saved me. And I know that I am meant to help other people understand it. And however I got to do that, that's what I'm doing, I guess. Anyway, right after Jimmy died, I spent a lot of the time in my alone, and I was begging to talk to him, begging to understand, begging for answers, begging. And I didn't realize that I was opening up channels to some really crazy shit that I wasn't ready for. Part of that was souls in this house that Jimmy died in. It was a 100-year-old house, which later was confirmed by tenants that had been there that they've had paranormal experiences before. But when Jimmy died, either my intense desire and grief and crying and my begging, I think because of where I was at in my frequency, grief is like one of the lowest of the frequencies that you can have, and I was calling forth energies to communicate with me at that time, and I didn't know what the hell I was dealing with. So that opened up a whole mess of shit in this house, where I was feeling energies, I was nauseous, I was seeing shit move, and it wasn't just because I hadn't slept. I did at this time turn heavily to drugs and alcohol, and it ended me in the hospital. I was sick, but I was drinking more than I had ever drank in my life, and I'm not really a drinker. And I was using substances just to try to take myself out of that mess, because honestly, I really did not know what the fuck was going on around me. So on top of all of that I'm dealing with, I started being judged really harshly by my family, by my friends, by people that knew Jimmy, because of choices of people that I had around me, which were choices I made because it was my only fucking choice, because the people that I felt like should have been there weren't. And I'm just honest. My daughter did come when she realized there was something wrong with me, but I don't think a lot of people knew how to deal with what I was going through. I didn't even really know how to deal with what I was going through. My daughter finally came and got me out of that house, and I went to her house, where I continued to experience paranormal things.